kind of guilty, kind of gloomy, and I always wonder why that was. It never was like, Mother's Day. It was always, the church was, kind of half empty on Father's Day. Mother's Day is packed to capacity. And I always started to wonder, like, why is this so? So through research, through revelation, through experience, I've come to a conclusion. So 2 Samuel chapter 13 and verse 2 says, and it came to pass, let me move this so I can read it. It says, and it came to pass, after this, Absalom, the son of David, had a sister whose name was Tamar, and Amnon, the son of David, loved her. Long story short, Amnon ended up raping his sister. He didn't have to, but this is the thing that he chose to do. Okay? Following me? That's the response. Okay. All right, verse 22. And Absalom, and so her brother found him out. I mean, he found out after he raped her, then he kicked her out. So then her brother found out. Verse 20. And Absalom, her brother, said unto her, hath Amnon thy brother been with thee? But hold thy peace, my sister, he is thy brother, regard not this thing. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother's house. But when David heard, what did he do?
He heard
all these things, he was very wroth. But Absalom spoke unto his brother Amnon neither good or bad. For Absalom hated Amnon because he had forced his sister Tamar. And it came to pass after 2 full years. How many years? 2 full years. That Absalom had sheep shearers in Behezer, which was besides Ephraim, and Absalom invited all the king's sons. And Absalom came to the king and said, behold, now thy servant has sheep shearers. Let the king, I beseech thee, and his servants go with thy servants. And the king said to Absalom, nah, my son, let us not go now, lest we be chargeable unto thee. And he pressed him, howbeit he would not go, but blessed him. Take note, Absalom. Absalom was David's third son, right? Amnon was the firstborn. Absalom means my father is peace. Abba, father, shalom, peace. It also means to be friendly. So he was a very friendly person. Hey, Dad, let's get all the guys together. Yeah, okay. Right? Notice, you didn't read where David corrected his firstborn, right? Okay. One of the things I think that a few reasons. One, he didn't do it is because he felt guilty. Everybody remember Bathsheba? Okay. That's one. And then also, I think that David had an unforgiveness issue, not just with other people, but with himself. And it's very hard to correct somebody when you feel guilty yourself. Okay. All right.
Amen.
Okay.
We're there.
All right. This is what I believe. This is my hypothesis, how he felt. Verse 26. And then said Absalom, if not, I pray thee, let my brother Amnon go with us. And the king said unto him, why shall you go with thee? But Absalom pressed him that he let Amnon go, the king's sons, and go with him. Long story short, Absalom he told the servants, he said, once he's married, y'all go and kill him. And he did. And then he killed her. You know how when people start shooting at the clubs and everybody just, they start running out. That's what happened. Verse 30. And it came to pass while they were on their way, the tidings came to David, saying, Absalom has slain all thy sons, all thy king's sons, and there is not one left. That's how gossip gets started, because that wasn't true. Then the king arose and tore his garment and lay on the earth, and his servants stood by the clothes rent. And Jehonadab, the son of Shemira, this is what I'm talking about, David's brother, answered and said, let my lord suppose that they have slain all the young men, the king's son, for Amnon only is dead. For by the appointment of Absalom, that he hath determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar. Now therefore, let not my lord the king take the thing to heart, to think that all the king's sons are dead. Amnon only is dead. Okay? So Absalom, he fled to Timnah, the son of Ammihail, king of Geshur. And David mourned for his son every day. What did he do? He mourned for his son every day. Interesting. So Amnon fled and went to Geshur and was there 3 years. How many years?
3 years.
So, you notice they still didn't reconcile. So 2 plus 3 equals what? 5. So they haven't reconciled for 5 years. Okay. Verse 39. And the soul of David longed forth unto Absalom, for he was comforted concerning Amnon, seeing he was dead. So he was comforted. So, long story short, Joab came up with this scheme. He was like, okay, well, he gave this story. And then this is one of the reasons why I like stories. And stories and movies and things like that. Because sometimes it puts you in somebody else's shoes. And then sometimes you actually realize it's your own shoes you're in. Okay. All right. Okay. So, 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 23. So Joab, so he did the scheme. He was like, okay, bring him back. So Joab arose and went to Geshur and brought Absalom to Jerusalem. And the king said, let him turn his own house to his own house, and let him not see my face. So Absalom returned to his own house and saw not the king's face. But in all Israel there was none so much praised as Absalom for his beauty, for the sole of his feet, even to the crown of his head. There was no blemish in him. So he was a very attractive man. He had this big, this long hair where he had to get it cut every year, because it just weighed, right? Okay. So, and then also, right after this, I'm paraphrasing, he actually named one of his daughters after his sister. So I'm looking, I'm thinking like, he loved his sister so much he named his daughter after his sister. So that might mean he's still holding on to something.
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 28, and it says, so Absalom dealt 2 full years in Jerusalem and saw not the king's face. 2 full years. So we got 2 plus 5 equals what?
7.
You're right. 7. I'm seeing if y'all paying attention. All right. So 2 plus 5 equals 7. So they have not reconciled for 7 years. Verse 32, and I'm going to, and it says, now therefore let me see, this is Absalom talking, now therefore let me see the king's face, and if there be any iniquity in me, let him kill me. So Joab came to the king and told him, okay, here's your son, he blah, blah, blah. He came in, he kissed his face, and that was it. So they've been reconciled for 2 years, right? Oh, 7.
Yeah, we're listening.
7 years. 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1, it says, and it came to pass after this that Absalom prepared his chariots and horses and 50 men to run before him. So, long story short, remember, he is my father's peace. He's very friendly, so it's easy to win people over. All right? So he goes, he says, okay, Dad, I got to go back to, I made a vow in the country that was over. Let me go do that, so I can just take care of some stuff. So it says, okay, yeah. And then what does he do? He wins the hearts of the people. So he wins the hearts of the people, and he has to pretty much chase his own father out of his kingdom because he had something against him. Wow. So he chases him out, and I'm gonna be raw with you. I'm gonna be real with you guys. So then he tries to kill his father. That's one. Then he has sex with 10 of the concubines he left there in front of everybody. Okay. All right. 2 Samuel chapter 18 verse 4, and it says, and the king said unto them, so this is David, they're rallying together, they've been in the wilderness for a while, so they're rallying together to try to take back the kingdom. And it says, and the king said unto them, what seemed thee best I will do. And the king stood by the gate side, and all the people came by hundreds and by thousands. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, deal gently for my sake with a young man, even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom. So everybody heard this. So your son tries to kill you. He has sex with 10 of your women in front of everybody. And you're still like, okay, deal gently with him. Deal gently with my son. I wonder if Absalom knew how David felt. Verse 9. And Absalom met the servants of David, and Absalom rode upon a mule, and the mule went under a thick bot of a great oak, and his height caught hold of the oak, and he was taken up in between the heaven and the earth, and the mule ran up under him. And a certain man saw it and told Joab, and said, behold, I saw Absalom caught between the oak tree. And then Joab's like, you know what? I brought him here. I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm going to correct my mistake. So he says, okay, you go in there and you kill him. I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that, I'm going to give you this. And then he's like, you know what? The king told me, he told everybody. He said, don't mess with him. And he was like, you know what? Just go do it. So what happens? He ends up killing him. Okay, verse 32. And the king said unto Cushai, is the young man Absalom safe? Cushai answered, the enemy of my lord the king, and all that rose against thee to do thee hurt, be as thy young man is. And the king was much moved, and went up to the chamber over the gate and wept. What did he do? Yeah. And as he went, thus he said, O my son, Absalom, my son, Absalom. With God, I died for thee. O Absalom, my son. So later on, Joab says, you know, David, like, listen, dude, like, if all of your camp died and your son stayed alive, you're acting like that will be okay. So you need to go out and you need to greet the people. Because if you don't, some other enemy is going to come and take over. You're going to be worse than what you had before. So then David musters up and says, okay, let me get myself together. And he goes in and greets the people. Wow. I wonder